All right, we've got Kim Olson in with us, and Kim Olson is one of the acts on Christmas by the Lake, and what a story you have, and you're actually in from out of town to do this interview.
Having fun.
Bring us up to date on where your career has taken you, because originally you're from the area.
Yep, I grew up in Duluth, lived in Lakewood Township, spent a lot of time at the Breeze Inn eating burgers.
Okay.
And
shameless plug.
Well, I don't know them, so
right.
But I do love them.
That's right. Good people, great food there.
And I moved to Lutsen. I worked at Lutsen Resort for 8 years, so I lived on Gitchigumi on Lake Superior. And you know, it's funny, back then we saw they would see lights over the lake and things like that. It was really interesting. So then my mother had passed away, and I moved back down here to be with my dad and my brother. So I started singing. First place I sang was Shakey's Pizza Parlor up here.
Yeah.
Then I started singing the Robin Hood, the Bellows, the Radisson, Downtown Bar and Lounge, Mr. Pete's. All these places back in the day were just great places.
So all these places, the biggest thing they all have in common, I think they're all closed, aren't they?
I closed each one, yeah, in order.
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean, the Radisson is still around, but now it's been 3 or 4 other things. So
it was fun. I mean, there's a lot of great musicians back then, and Tracy Lundeen.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is?
Yes, heard of him.
Yeah,
yeah.
So, but he's been involved ever since I back in the day. We were running buddies, kind of. So
okay. So let me ask you a few things now. Now that you're out in L.A., what are you doing? Who are you bumping elbows with now?
Well, horses.
Okay.
I live in a horse community, but I've sang at Disneyland for a resort in the park, and some of their special events, like I warmed up for Mickey and when we went to different cities.
Okay.
Like that. So I've been in movies and a lot of special events I do. Last week I was at the Del Mar racetrack playing for the Breeders' Cup.
See, now when you say that, immediately I think of where I lived out in Maryland, because it's Del Mar is the border. There's a town on the border called Del Mar. So when you say that, I automatically think of Maryland, Delaware.
Yeah.
Not the same place.
No, it's not. I'll tell you, I'm not one of those horse bettors, but when I was out there and I saw all these bazillion-dollar horses running around the track, wow, I get to see this. And then the news came up, the Channel 5 News in L.A., and they said, would you do something for me? So, I've got to do a lot of music. Takes you. Tracy and I were talking about it. Music keeps you young,
mm-hmm.
and people in the music business. And my most memorable things, like Michael Jackson used to come and listen to me at Disneyland. He used to hang out and give me a thumbs up. And those are just moments in time. But one of my favorite moments in time when I was singing at the Radisson here, I was Johnny Cash was in town doing a concert.
Wow!
And back then they would say, like, Elvis is coming down the elevator. So they said, he's coming down. So he came out, and I took a break, and I went outside, and the elevator opened, and this man in black comes out. It's like, Darth Vader. And you're going, wow. So I said, hi, Mr. Cash. I'm Kim. I'm singing the bar. Oh, well, great. And, nice to meet you. And we're going to go to our concert. We're excited. And I thought, just that moment in time. You meet people like that. It's just frozen in time.
Yeah. Very cool.
And that happened here in Duluth.
There's a lot of famous people that live around in this area that I think people don't have any clue that they're here. And I bump into it every once in a while. And when I'm up at the mall, I'll double take a lot, because you never know if that is a famous person or just somebody that looks like them. Yeah,
most of the time when you meet them.
Yeah,
they just have this presence about them,
Right.
I mean, so some of the people.
But I have spied some famous people that just they're good at like staying undercover and just kind of walking around like they're regular, not showing who they are.
Well, they're probably sick of the whole rat race. They want to come
right.
and live on a lake somewhere and not be bothered and be a normal person.
And then I think people up here allow you to do that.
Yeah.
I know when I went away and I did some work with some people that had some names, when I came back, they didn't care. It was like, you're still Chris, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you have to be careful how you talk about things. I mean, it's just, people are people, and sometimes when you're name dropping, it's not the greatest thing to do.
It's a big put off. Yeah.
It's a put off, but there's some people you drop names because you had relationships with them, or you knew them, and I think one of my favorites is I do a telethon down in Iowa every year in Des Moines. It's for Variety, children's charity.
Okay.
It's a great. They're international. So, and I'm an ambassador for them. So B. Arthur was also an ambassador. So we flew together a few times.
Oh, wow.
And just to know her, and she's this bigger in life person, but to be friends with her was really cool. And I could call her, and we had lunch in Beverly Hills and things like that. So I got to be, even though I'm a roomer in my own time, I got to at least hang out with people.
Well, let's get to kind of what you're here to talk about. Christmas by the Lake. You contributed a track. Well, how did that all come about?
Was here this summer with my daughter, and got together with Tracy, and
It's that name again.
There's that name again.
Yeah.
And he said, well, hey, boy, we'd like it if you'd contribute a Christmas song. And I thought, okay. And so I went back to California. And I thought, well, I just don't want to sing Jingle Bells or something, even though I like it. But
right.
I thought, I want to write. So I wrote this song, and when I lived in Olson, I lived right on Lake Superior, and here too, growing up. So I thought, boy, has anybody ever written Gitchy Gummy Christmas? So I went with that, and that's how the song evolved. So he inspired me to write a song instead of just contribute one. So that's what I did, and I have to say, it just came out.
It's funny though when you think about songwriting. What do you write about the most? What you know. And that always seems to be the fastest way to write it, too. Once you start writing about what you know. I wrote a Christmas song way long time ago, and my roommate and I had planned to put it on our little Christmas tape we were going to send home because we had no money. And he wrote his in a day, and he was done, had it recorded and everything. And a month later, or 2 days before we're going to send off the tape, and I'm like, I got nothing. I'm just, I'm going to cover something and be done with it. And he goes, why don't you write about what you miss? Ding. I'll be right back. Ran home from the laundry. In 10 minutes, I had the song done. He came back with his laundry, and I said, come on, we got to do it. Get in there.
So is that one light bulb or two that went out?
It wasn't even a half one.
Boom.
I have one of those light bulbs. It's a 3-way, and most of the time it's on dim. So,
well, this Christmas by the Lake, the Get You Give Me Christmas, I'm proud and, honored to have it on there. There's a lot of area talent on there, and that's one thing Tracy's always been great at. He's always, he finds talent, and he knows how to nurture it and have young talent with the old talent.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a great mix of talent on there, and so all these people put their heart in it, and it goes. They'll talk about it in a few minutes. This Bluebird Foundation, and tomorrow night at Clyde Ironworks. I hope everybody's listening and they're going to show up because it's going to be a great event.
Yeah,
there'll be a lot of people there. It's for a great cause, and I'm just glad to have the song on there. Gitchy Gummy Christmas by the Lake.
There we go. Kim Olson, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. It's great to be here.